Guys, my name is Charles Bear, and I head up the Shop Financial Division. So please follow us, on Facebook and Twitter. But guys, I do want to talk to you today about something that most of us are familiar with. Any of you guys have debt? Would any of you like to maybe get rid of some of it? So let's chat about our goals. And I'm assuming you guys are all here because you have goals, right? So the goal could be maybe just playing golf, all the way to I want a nice vacation every year, maybe a new home. Some of you might even want to be getting married occasionally. What do our goals do to us, though? Our goals put us in debt. How many of you have a goal that is not related to debt? All of it relates to debt, guys. When you set your goals, does everything run smoothly? You hit them right on time, right? You set it 6 months out, boom, you got it. It's all done. If you want a new car, boom, it's done and you paid for it 6 months out. Maybe not. In reality, see, does life throw you a curveball now and then? And I have found that almost every curveball that life threw at me cost me money. Somewhere along the line. So, okay, let's start after college. We got our college paid for. And if you're lucky, your parents have helped you. And if you're not, you have a lot of debt. But at this point, you want to come out of college, and now you're going to have income. And the great thing about this is you're going to have some discretionary income now. So we can have a little bit of fun. But after college, what comes next? Well, let's not throw that word in there yet. Let's say we might find somebody and we get married. Now, this is one of the cheapest endeavors I've seen so far, right? And it rarely puts you into a lot of debt. But you know what the nice thing is here? You might have more debt, but you have two incomes. So our discretionary income goes up. But occasionally you get surprises once you're married. What would you call that? Yes. We will have a baby that shows up. And today, by the way, does anybody know what, from childbirth to getting them through college, rough estimate of what it costs? $1 million. Yeah, it's crazy. So, but again, we still have some discretionary income. But now as our family grows, what do we look for next? We look for some place bigger to live. And of course, guys, once we have a mortgage, this causes us additional problems. Next comes, and I don't know about you, but here's what I found all the time, is every 3, 4, 5 years, something goes wrong with a car, and now I want to buy another one, right? At this point, though, most of us have spent all our discretionary income. And what do they say we're doing at this point? We're living paycheck to paycheck, right? That's what happens. So where did the rest of our goals go? Where did vacationing, our second home, golfing? Well, what has really happened here is our dreams and goals are replaced by consumer debt and the cost of living, right? See, here's what we do. How many of you have recently bought a car? Right? So if someone comes up to you and says, hey, what did you pay for that car? You tell them the cost on the window of the car. You don't say, I bought a $35,000 car, but the interest is going to take me to $48,000. So wasn't that smart? Right? We don't do that. So we budget without figuring the true cost of what's going on. So, guys, you know you live in a debt-fueled economy, right? What does the average American have as far as debt goes? How much? How many debts? How many different ones? Is 4 all they have? Or do we average between 6 and 8? Do you realize that between 6 and 8, the mathematical combinations to pay these off is hundreds? Hundreds. Like a mortgage, $180,000. Average student loans, $50,000. And to me, I'm thinking that that's a year, not total after you're done. Right? Credit card debt, automotive. Hey, so I found a statistic. And this took everybody in the United States that's 18 and older, not just borrowers. and it said by the time they're 75, how much debt do they still have? And it is amazing at age 75 how much debt we still carry into retirement years. How many of you planned when you got out of college to go, God, I hope when I get to 65 I have tons of debt and can't afford it? So what if you had a program that allowed you to manage your debt better? What if you can now take the same money you have and let Debt Shredder show you how to get rid of things quicker? It's just applying your money smarter. And now we can start creating wealth. See, it's a different story. I would rather get to retirement age and go, I'm good, right? Instead of, geez, I have to eat some noodles, right? It's crazy. Let me give you an example of what goes on. If you have a $200,000 mortgage for 30 years and you have a 4.5% interest rate, your payment is $1,013. We know that at the end of 1 year, almost $9,000 went to interest. Now, if there's math majors out there, I'm not sure how they figure out that that's 4.5%. Because to me, it looks like 73. But as we go, it gets better. In year 2, it drops a percentage and 72% went to interest. You know, by the end of year 20, you go, I have paid back $243,000. And guys, I'd be okay with this. I'd be okay paying $43,000 to borrow $200,000. How many of you ever did a mortgage and you look at it every month? You take the paper out and go, I'm just whittling this away. Or do you put it in a drawer and you don't look at it again until you sell or pay it off? That's what most of us do. By the end of 30 years, you have paid back, well, at the end of 20 years, you still have half the principal. That's a little crazy. At the end of 30 years, you've paid back $365,000. So 82% of the money you paid back went to borrowing that money to buy the house. Now, let's think about this a little further. What if I buy a house for $200,000 and 30 years later I go to sell it? What can I sell the house for? If I can get $365,000, I'd be lucky, right? But our lender not only let us borrow the money, but they took our equity. That's crazy, right? That is crazy. Average household, to service your interest, you're paying 34.5 cents of every dollar. Yeah, way crazy. So I think most of us could be living the lives we've always dreamed of if we understood the effects of debt. Say, what if you could stop overpaying? Would you live, if you had zero debt when you wake up tomorrow morning, would you live life any differently? Or would you go, my goodness, I love my job so much, I'm going in. Okay, don't pay me. I'm coming. Yeah. Look, most of us don't reach our financial goals, financial freedom. Why? Well, life is usually comfortable enough, and you would all agree we're busy, right? That changing something in our life is easy to avoid. Matter of fact, we'll make poor financial decisions just to avoid that, right? So, do any of you want to get out of debt? Well, it was like 6 people in here. So, okay, do this. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 is, this is my goal. I want to be debt-free and start building wealth. So if you're there, if you're 1, 2, 3, or a 4, Debt Shredder can help you. If you're 5, then you go, no, I love to get up every morning financially stressed. Who needs more money? This program will never help you, okay? You do have options, right? Think about what most of you do right now. So do you get your payment and you just make the minimum payments, right? That's what most of America does. Now, could we refinance or consolidate our debt? We could, but you should look long term if that actually costs you money. If it's saving you monthly, look if it's actually costing you money long term. Could you make biweekly payments to your mortgage? You certainly could do that. Could you make more money? Well, we could make more money and apply some of that to the principal. How about a debt snowball? You guys ever hear of that? So that's going to look at the smallest loan you have, attack that one, and then keep attacking as we increase. Or you could do a debt avalanche where it attacks the highest interest rate and then just subsequently goes after the next one. Do they work? They absolutely work. The problem with them is they leave a lot of money on the table. The other problem with them is they allow you to make a decision. And I have found that we have a tendency to not make the best decisions, right? So what I really want you to do is stop guessing, right? It's not too late to take a new course with a GPS called, a financial GPS called the Debt Shredder. So Debt Shredder has any answer that you want. Oop, sorry about that. It's the smartest way to save money, reduce your debt, build cash reserves, and accumulate wealth. How many of you would be upset when you got out towards retirement and you had too much money? All right. It's an online, web-based debt and money management system. It takes strategies that banking has used for years and lets you use them in an opposing direction. I want to get rid of debt as opposed to put debt on you. The smartest thing it does is it actually fits into what you do, meaning it looks at your situation and adjusts for each of you. So if your income goes up, it allows you to apply it. If your income goes down, it allows you to adjust. So it's going to do the exact same thing for you there. Now, to me, the smartest thing is this. It has a dashboard. And the dashboard will tell you how much interest you have remaining, how many years till you pay it off, and how much you're saving. But if you go in and you make a decision, it's actually going to tell you how it affects you long term. It's going to take your net worth and go, you've added to your net worth or you subtracted from your net worth. Would it be better for you if you could make an informed decision against guessing? Would you be better with that? All right, let me give you an example. Here's an actual client of mine. They had $192,000 of debt. All right? If they followed what their bank suggested, 30 years down the road, they would be completely debt-free as long as they did nothing else. Debt Shredder said, listen, we can apply your money slightly differently. And in 7.3 years, we will have you debt-free. And if you take that money and all you do is put it away at 1%, we'll have you $778,000. Guys, you do realize someone's getting the $778,000, right? At this point, you have a choice. Do you want your friendly bank to get it and buy a nice new building, or would you like to buy a nice new building? That's what I want. Matter of fact, I looked at this, and this is 5 different debts, right? So I looked at this and said, what happens if I build my unfranchise? And all it does is pay me an extra $300 a month. And I let Debt Shredder take the extra $300. It takes a year off your total payments and tax on $140,000 at the end. Right? $300. Guys, build your business, own Debt Shredder, and let it help you get richer. Now, I'd like to bring you a testimonial out here right now.
I'm a top producing real estate broker partner with Keller Williams out of Stamford, Connecticut. And the definition of top producing is someone who, an agent who who sells over $5 million in sales, and I've done that in less than 6 months this year. I'm also an investor. So I started investing at 23. I wish I knew about the Debt Shredder then, but I've purchased close to over 30 properties, bought, flipped, and the definition of an investor is someone who owns one property or more.
All right. So you now own Debt Shredder, right?
Yes, I do, thanks to you.
What has it done for you?
Well, the bank, I signed the contract, I own 3 properties, and I owe the bank $600,000 in interest. And with the 3 properties, I have an average of 26 years to pay off the mortgages, okay? I signed the contract. So with the debt shredder, I get to save $200,000 and pay it off in 8.4 years. And if I continue to go to 25 years, I will have accumulated $1.6 million. That's today's technology, folks, with what we have with the debt shredder.
So, Elliot, if you had to give them any advice, what would you suggest?
Okay. Who here owns one home or more? Okay, your investors, great. You need the debt shredder so you can earn more homes. I want to talk to those who do not own a home, okay? I stayed at the Shop Financial booth, and they asked me, and I questioned them, why do you not own your home? I own debt. I have medical bills. I have all that. That's a perfect reason why you need the debt shredder, because today there's no reason why you should not own a home with by utilizing the debt shredder. We have a video that is called Wealth Building. You have to look at it. It just shows you how you could purchase multiple properties. And you can find it at Unfranchised Training and the Shop Financial. If I had that program 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I would probably own and keep those 30 properties. It's phenomenal.
Please give Elliot a hand.
Thank you.
I had a police officer call me about 2 months ago. He said, you know, you convinced me to buy Debt Shredder 8 years ago. He said, I was in my early 50s, I had no money, I was going to work till I died. Debt Shredder over the last 8 years has paid off my home in Connecticut, paid off 2 homes in Florida, and I will be able to retire in my early 60s with way more than I ever thought I would see. I love those calls, right? Do any of you use Debt Shredder right now? It will blow you away on what it can do, right? And guys, we want to do all this without or very little alteration to your current standard of living. We're not going to tell you you need to refinance. I'm not going to have debt consolidation. I want you to let the software direct you, get you out of debt in 1/3, 1/2 the time what you pay off your debt, right? 4 strategies it implements. 1 is interest cancellation. Guys, this is just getting rid of interest. And I don't mean you're not going to pay any, you're just not going to pay the amount the lender wants you to pay. Strategic payoff. If you have 6 different debts, the mathematical combinations to pay these off are 720. The program looks at that and shows you the best path. Time value of money. Money in your pocket today is worth more than it will be 10 years from now. But the debt shredder coaching software and the system itself is really the key. So what does it tell you? It's going to tell you how much money to move. It's going to tell you where to move it from, the exact dollar amount. It's going to tell you. And guys, I've had phone calls from customers that go, it's giving me information that's very unusual. I said, it's giving you information you're not used to. Follow directions, okay? Tells you from what account to what account, while it constantly adjusts to your life and your changes. And it's going to help you find the quickest mathematical solution to zero debt. So it doesn't just stop there, right? Debt Shredder will show you how to get out of debt, but then it's going to take the money, and if you put it away, you find a financial planner, you take it down to the bank, it's going to show you what it can do. The analysis is free, and it's going to show you both of these things on the analysis. So what's your next step? Well, you have an event special right now. If you want to become a representative, you know, if you're right now we're in the US and Canada, it's code 6091ES, or in Canada, C6091ES for $50. Go visit our booth before you leave and leverage the program to increase your retail sales and your unfranchised. By the way, 600 BV if you sell to your customers and $1,400 of retail profit. Could you deal with some of that? Okay. So guys, go to shopfinancial.com, complete the Calculate Savings, and we will have somebody talk to you. But your financial situation, whatever it is right now, will only change if one thing happens, if you choose to change it. Other than that, it's going to get uglier and uglier. Managing debt is just the beginning with Shop Financial. Guys, please stop and see us. Visit our webinars Monday. Have a great weekend.